Welcome on in, guys. Three bold takes again, and this is part two to our interview of two-time national champion Marquis Maze. So sit back and relax because there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going to be taking place over these next, I guess, three more parts. But it's a four-part series, so if you find this one, go look at the other parts as well. Marquis, thank you so much for doing this again, man. Now I kind of want to pivot the discussion to the transfer portal, right? Not only with Alabama, but in all of college football, there seems to be a transfer portal craze going on where players aren't happy. They just go to another team because the team buys them a Lambo at Isaiah Bond. Anyways, what are your thoughts about the transfer portal in general, but also like these players that are only leaving because Saban retired? What would you say to them?
Um, if you're leaving because Saban retired, it's understandable. Because you never know how a new coach view you. Just you're not his recruit, you're not his guy. He's coming in on inheriting players. So if you leaving just because of Saban, then I understand. If you leaving because of what some of the guys are doing, asking for more money and this and that, then get the fuck on. That's how I feel.
Come on.
And y'all, they are being it's crazy. You already getting paid. We want you to the players, older players, I love the NIL stuff. We love it because we weren't able to get paid to play. We weren't able to get paid anything. We just played because we love football. Uh, and we was trying to get to the next level. But I'm starting to see that some of these guys are greedy. Uh, if I'm making $1 million at one school, and another school say, "Hey, well, I give you 1.5." But my opportunity to make it to where I want to go is better here. I'm staying here for less. Uh, the value you're gonna get, I mean, it's temporary. You're gonna get if you're fortunate enough or if you're good enough to make it to the next level, then you're gonna get more money. Now I can see where a guy uh maybe not thinking that he'll get a big contract in the NFL because he don't think highly of himself for real. So he probably take that 1.5 because he might look at it as if it's the most money I get. So I get it, but I'm like I say, I'm one of those people. I'm based off loyalty. Um, but you also see this kind of stuff. You started seeing this kind of stuff here lately, where the parents teaching these guys at an early age to, if it's not going well, pack up and run to another situation. I coach. I watch my son little league teams, and now he's in middle school. I watch this little league team. I watch guys come and go because their team was either up or down, or if the team was up, you seen guys coming in. Soon as the team lose, it's problems. Certain players run off to another team. Same thing you got in high school, guys transferring to another school uh, because they're winning. I just stuff like that is just not something I'm accustomed to. Uh, I'm just one of those guys that's very very loyal. Um, I have morals, I have principles, and I don't feel like money could buy me. That's just me. I don't know everybody's situation, and I understand that some guys in some jacked up situations where they need the money, they need it. So that's why I never dog these kids out. I never because I don't know their situation, but I do know when you go into an office and I know you getting paid XYZ and you asking the coach to, if you don't pay me this, I'm transferring. I don't respect those guys. Don't respect them. They need to be those the type player that you don't need in your program. So when those guys leave, it's fine to me because they're going to go to the other program and ruin it.
So,
So
Marquise,
it's
you look around, and the two teams that come to mind for me, and it's not Alabama, it's Kansas State and North Carolina State. They both had really good seasons this year, and they had
mhm,
a whole lot of transfers. And I look at the situation college football has with NIL and the transfer portal, and it's almost like a free agency with no rules.
right.
So it feels to me, and you can't prove it. There's not a lot of substantial proof, just a lot of speculation, almost as if there's tampering going on in college football right now.
It is.
Bigger brands with more money being able to come in and take players away from smaller schools. Is there any solution, like maybe a collective or some teams coming to, or teams and conferences coming together and setting up some kind of regulation similar to how pro sports do it with free agency rules, or are we just going to be stuck in this free for all in college football for a while?
To be honest, I don't know what's going to happen. It's the NCAA is a shit show right now. Coach Saban said it when it started that we need to get some kind of control on it. You got guys that can go from one school to the next, year in and year out, if they offer more money without a cap on it. Guys don't have to sit out. It's like I said, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. You making it where kids don't have to show no loyalty. And this the thing, like they say, well, coaches can leave at any point they want to. That's true. I get it. I was a kid in that position where if Coach Saban recruited me and he left, what was I to do? But at the same time, man, just because somebody else does it, don't mean you have to do it. Uh, so I just don't know where we're going with this at this point. I love the NIL. I love to see those kids because I understand not being able to work, not being able to make money for yourself in the school, making millions and millions of dollars off you. And so I understand the NIL, but I also see that it's ruining some of these kids. We got some great athletes, but don't work hard. You got great athletes or you got some guys that's making a lot of money that's really not that good, and they just getting paid to be a okay player. Uh, so I don't know, man. I really, really think that's something they need to sit down and figure out, but because it's going to get bad. It's only going to hurt the high school kids that's trying to come to college. That's who it's hurting the most.
Right. Well, talking about the transfer portal and some of these guys leaving out, we mentioned Isaiah Bond. There are others, of course. There's the potential Caleb Downs going to Georgia, right? What do you think about these former Saban disciples kind of picking out of the barnyard after Saban retires? Sarkeesian getting in there. Looks like Smart's trying to make a move that already has with coaches. What's your thoughts on that?
They're just doing their job. I mean, it's their job to continue to build their program and have success with their program. And why not use the guys that Coach Saban had or guys that they coached? Um, it's just one of those things, man, where you have to just deal with. Uh, like I say, if guys don't want to be at Alabama, then bye. We'll focus on the guys that want to be here, that want to play, and that are great players, and we'll build off of that.
Yeah, and one other thing that you kind of jogged our memory and on something that Saban said about creating more rules and regulations around this and how he believes that it should happen. And now that he's retired, he said that he wants to stay involved with Alabama, but also help improve the game forward in college football. Um,
Mm.
what if he was like the first college football commissioner? Or he like really drove the initiative to kind of get some of this stuff settled in on transfer portal and NIL. I mean, who would say no to that?
If anybody is the guy to do it, because I know when we were there, he Coach Saban always said, "Man, if I could pay y'all, I would." You know, because he understands that we needed we needed resources, money, to do whatever we needed to do. Uh, but he couldn't, so it was like, man, But a person of that nature with that much power, I think he would be the guy that could get it under control.
Because everybody respects him. I mean, in the
Right,
entire country. You're right.
right. Everybody respects him. Some might not like him, but like you said, they respect him. And I would rather have more people respect me than like me.
That's a good quote. That's a great quote there. That's a good one to end it on there.